Greetings, everyone. So, I do want to apologize beforehand at my lack of uploads recently. If I had to be honest, um, perfectly honest about why I haven't put out any reviews, frankly, I've been in a bit of a rut. I haven't been able to fully put into words my thoughts on certain games. My original intention was after Neopets the Darkest Fairy to do a video on the next Neopets game in the lineup, which would have been Pet Pet Adventure on the PSP. However, my problems with that one was I just couldn't be compelled to actually play it. And it's not really anything to do with the game itself. It's really had to come down more to the fact that I just didn't feel like pulling out my PSP and playing it. And granted, I could have used an emulator, recorded recorded footage using an emulator. Didn't want to do that. But that being said, I had originally intended to say, all right, I'm going to take a break from Neopets for a little bit, work on something else. But even then, some of the other games that I was working on, um, like I said, I couldn't fully articulate my thoughts on the game. And so months had passed and I just couldn't get a video out because I couldn't think of things to say about different games. Um, on top of that, I have been busy with a few other things. For the people who watch my channel but don't know this, I have a secondary channel that I do with a few of my friends, and that is Gear Playthroughs. That channel is very similar to something like Brain Scratch Comms, where we will record a game and then commentate over the gameplay. Um, a lot of my attention has been focused on that. I have also been trying to get a job just in general. Um, for anyone who doesn't know, YouTube, to become monetized on YouTube, you need 8,000 subscribers. I am currently, at time of recording, I'm currently at around 70. So someone like me who loves talking about video games, I'm not making money off of that just yet. I have considered doing a Patreon, but that would require, for me, I would rather do that when I have a few more subscribers to kind of justify it. Um, so just a lot of things going on in my life. Um, I'm not 100% sure what my next main video is going to be. I do want to bring up the fact that um, I was going to do a first impressions on the DragX Drive game because Nintendo did a whole um, Nintendo did a whole public test for that, and I was going to show like gameplay of similar to what I did with the Sonic Racing Crossroads beta. Was going to show my own personal gameplay for that and give my thoughts. And at this point, the game's out, so there's not really much reason to say, okay, here's my thoughts on the preview. That being said, I enjoyed the preview. I want to get the full game, but it's like $20, and one, I don't have the money for that right now. I'm hoping to get money for. I'm hoping to save money on bigger things like got Metal Gear Delta coming out, and I'm not going to be reviewing any Metal Gear games anytime soon because those take a lot to get. Those take a lot to record, and it's partially because can't think of the right words right now. As you can tell, this entire video is unscripted, but I want to review Metal Gear eventually. I just don't want to do it anytime soon, mostly because of how large a lot of those games are, and even though they're like 90% cutscene, it would still take a bit to write down, like with a lot of the other videos that I've had planned that I haven't been able to get around to. Um, takes a it would take a lot longer for me to put my thoughts into words. Um, so so there's that. Um, do want to mention so taking a bit of a break from Neopets, and by a bit I mean, of course, the last video was back in April. Um, my intention was to, before Metroid Prime 4 comes out, to do a video on the Metroid Prime remaster. And as of now, that is still the plan. I just need to, like with all the others, get a script for that one out and try and record my thoughts, have gameplay recorded. I am not 100% sure what else I'm going to be doing for the rest of the year. I had a big project planned for the end of the year, and I still want to do that. But what um, I don't want to give away what that is. It's just with all of the stuff that I would need to do for that specific project, um, I would essentially have to start working on it. I'd probably have to start working on it now and make sure I have all the bits together. Um, which doesn't mean there's not going to be a video until the end of the year. I wouldn't have people wait that long, but um, my intention for that was to use stop motion, and that as of now requires me to basically learn stop motion so that I can um, easily record the bits I need to record for that. That being said, so like I mentioned, my plan is next major video will be Metroid. I don't know if that's gonna be the case. I will probably, um, worst comes to worst, if it's not Metroid. Um, back in April, I had I had the intention of doing a second disappointing games video because that was the very first video I did, uh, pushing more towards um, pushing more towards doing game reviews as opposed to having my channel as a archive for my Twitch streams. Um, that being said, anyway, again, you can tell that this is unscripted, and I hate stumbling on my words, but basically the next project or the next video that you will most likely see from me is either a disappointing games video or um, or Metroid, whichever one I can get the script done first. But I have a couple other videos planned. Um, Recently, I actually was able to acquire the final game of the Burger King trilogy that I was missing for years. I've actually had two out of the three games, and I finally got the third one. Um, I do not have an Xbox to play them, but I'm hoping to do a video on that when I can get an Xbox. But long story short, I intend to get back to doing major videos. It's just going to take a bit for me to going to take a bit to get me to get like scripts done and record. Um, for anyone curious, like the entire situation, I am doing this myself. On my second channel, that I do with my friends, um, that one, like I'm not the only one recording gameplay. But however, I am the one editing. There is a joke that Pixel, who, if you've seen some of my videos, Pixel is the robot assistant that I have. Um, there's a joke on the other channel that Pixel does the editing. Um, in reality, is me. So every time you see the credits of my videos, it'll say reviewed. Um, I think edited, and reviewed, written, and edited by Glitch T Michaels. Um, and that's the case. Like outside of borrowing other people's footage to kind of use as an example, or because for whatever reason I was unable to, I personally was unable to record a specific section of a game. Um, it usually is a one-man show, and I prefer using my own footage as opposed to scraping the internet for other people's footage. Um, Another update relating to that, actually. So, if it, people who have been here since the beginning, if you have wondered why some videos are listed as old and outdated, that is due to the fact that I intend on going back to those videos and making better versions. For instance, my first two Ratchet and Clank videos, I am not particularly proud of. I'm not particularly proud of how they were. Granted, those were some of my first videos I did. I know. I know at the very least the first Ratchet and Clank video I used. pretty much all of the footage I used, I took from Golden Bolt, and for one thing, I wish I credited him. Nobody, I didn't get anybody after me upset that I used his footage. Like, he didn't get upset. I don't think he knows I even exist at this point. And if he does, hi. Um, Hi, and sorry for sorry for using your footage. Um, but a lot of the information was, um, I don't want to say entirely incorrect. A lot of the information I had in that first video was all over the place, and there are some bits that you can tell if you watch other people's Ratchet and Clank videos. You can tell that I was, I don't want to say plagiarizing, kind of was, but using snidbits that other people had mentioned in their videos. As for the going commando video, I'm not a big fan of that one, mostly because, well, one, not a huge fan of going commando, but two, even not being a fan of a particular game, I could have done that video much better. I think the only other video I have that is currently listed as old and outdated is my Shadow the Hedgehog video, and the biggest reason Shadow the Hedgehog is listed as old and outdated is down to the fact that um, I was using a ROM hack for that video, and I did not realize that some of the details I was mentioning was related to that ROM hack and not the full version. And I should have I should have done my research on that front, but also I should have stated somewhere in the video, it's like, hey, this relates to the ROM hack, not the official game that Sega released in stores. Um, but yeah. Anyway, I think I've rambled long enough. Hopefully, by the next time you see me, um, next time you see specifically my avatar, I'll have worked out. Um, I'll have everything sorted and have an actual review out for you guys, as opposed to um, taking 4 months to just get an update out. But yeah. So that being said, I will see you guys next time. Hopefully, again, hopefully under slightly better circumstances, as opposed to needing to put out an update saying, "Hey, this is where I've been."